What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Make sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. So, if you have been watching the channel or covering our covering of Film Threat or the inclusion standards that Elon Musk has leaked, you know that most studios, and of course Disney prominently, have been doing some naughty things regarding diversity, equity, inclusion, which on their own is fine, but it's how you get to that point, which is the issue. And many people seeing the direct discrimination, as we're going to see here, against, well, essentially straight white people, straight white men. It's illegal. And many people have said, how is this legal? How do you enforce these standards? And it turns out an actual legal group is filing suit. So here we have America's first legal files federal civil rights complaints against the Walt Disney Company for illegal race and sex discrimination. And it's important to note before we go into this that a lot of these inclusion standards that Elon Musk and others have leaked, they're old. This has been the standard practice for 3-4 years, as you've seen the results of most television shows and movies. And we have Washington, D.C. Today, America First Legal filed a federal rights complaint against the Walt Disney Company and its subsidiaries, Disney, for violating Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 by engaging in illegal race, sex, and national origin discrimination. The law prohibits Disney from using race, color, religion, sex, or national origin merely as a motivating factor for hiring, training, or promotions. But a document on Disney's Reimagine Tomorrow website strongly suggests that race, color, religion, sex, or national origin are often the only motivating factor in Disney's hiring, training, and promotion decisions, and that the company is intentionally discriminating against white American men, Christians, and Jews simply because of their race, sex, religion, and citizenship. And this is my own commentary, the multitude of emails that Film Threat has received. Thank you, Chris Gore and Alan Ng, for going through them and doing articles. We will be covering Disney Files Part 3 tomorrow. Backs it all up. Male and pale is stale, is what they say. It's a mantra, a known mantra. Jews are considered white people to them. So all this discrimination backed up by actual people there behind the scenes, including Disney's. And hopefully a lot of, oh boy, Discovery is going to be crazy over at Disney for all these lawsuits. All Disney General Entertainment, getting back to this legal missive, all Disney General Entertainment productions are required to comply with Disney's DEI inclusion standards. Some of the standards explicitly provide that 50% of the following jobs must be filled by members of underrepresented groups. Now, of course, we've covered this in detail, but just as they summarize here, regular and reoccurring actors and characters, the producing and writing staff, overall crew and project staff, line producers, production heads, again, all the way down to the people doing the catering, have an inclusion standard they need to meet. So if you want more details on that, please go back into the channel. We have a detailed video covering several detailed videos, rather. In addition, a leaked frequently asked questions document on Disney's inclusion standards described the company's broader plan to increase training and development opportunities for members of underrepresented groups in a racially exclusionary manner. Disney admits that an example of an inclusive hiring and employment practice is improving access to training and development opportunities for members of underrepresented groups. In other words, making it easier and more opportunity as long as you're not white. Disney's self-reported workforce demographic data shows that it is aggressively engaged in illegal race and sex-based workforce balancing, with immutable characteristics apparently serving as a determinative factor in at least some of its employment and contracting practices. For example, from 2020 to 2021, the fiscal year, I believe is what that stands for, the percentage of Disney directors identified by Disney as people of color grew by 6%. From 2020 to 2021, the percentage of individuals identified as people of color and female series regular leads increased by 4% and 1%, respectively. Yeah, everything went up, and only in one direction with one group. Interestingly, Disney's aggregate workforce data shows that between 2021 and 2022, the percentage of individuals identified by Disney as white dropped by 3.6% and as black by 0.5%. The percentage of individuals identified by Disney as Hispanic increased by nearly 1%. However, the largest increase noted is for a category Disney labeled as not disclosed, which grew by 3.2% during the relative time. Because Disney is not transparent, knowing precisely what the aggregated data means is impossible. For example, it is possible that some individuals who formerly were identified as white or black are now classified as not disclosed. Nevertheless, the data seem to support Disney's claim that race, color, religion, sex, and/or national origin are each a motivating factor. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example of this. I'm half white and half Puerto Rican. By these rules, if I were, and normally, and this is before this all took over, it will tell you pick either white or one of the others, Hispanic, non of white origin. So if you're half white and half black, they don't really have you have to pick one. In past times, if I were to pick white, that would have been a benefit to me, right? According to these. And whether that's true or not, we'll leave for another stream. Now, I would actively be discriminated against if I were to check that white box. But because I'm half Puerto Rican, it would behoove me to click that Latino, not Latinx, Latino representation, and or just say none, just say undisclosed, because it's better to be either one of these groups or not say anything at all than to outright say you're white. This is what they were pointing out. These are what all these voluntary surveys are. They are open discrimination forms. They are open discrimination forms. Finally, Disney maintains an illegal grant program, and so does the WGA that subsidizes this sort of non-merit-based performances. But finally, Disney maintains an illegal grant program that funnels $25,000 to underrepresented directors. The program unlawfully only awards grants to women, AAPI, Black, Indigenous, Native, all the people from an underrepresented group. Statement from America. Okay. Disney appears to be engaged in a pervasive, far-reaching, and illegal race and sex discrimination in violation of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Accordingly, we have filed a formal complaint with the EEOC that Disney is engaged in illegal conduct. It is sad and tragic that a company whose name was once synonymous with wholesome and charming childhood fantasies is now dedicated to spreading divisive bigotry. Oh, points for using that word against them. We urge Disney to cease and desist its unlawful and destructive conduct at once, said Stephen Miller. And they link to the letter and everything else. So if you have more information on this, or maybe you think you might want to be a part of this, I urge you to go to America First Legal, possibly contact them. Or if you want any more information, they have it all broken down here on their website, because God knows you're not going to see a lot of the mainstream media covering this. Of course, they covered the Gina Carano one, but that was just so they could paint her as a horrible person. The chickens are coming home to roost. Whatever the hell that means. They're coming back to feed. The birds are coming back to Capistrano. Yeah. The fucking around is resulting in finding out. So right now, America First Legal is helping Disney find out. They're already finding out with Elon Musk and Gina Carano, and they're finding out with their 9,000 women suing them on pay disparity. And they're about to find out after we see the released X-Men 97. But I digress. Drinking game. That's for another thing. Let me know what you think of this website, this confusing website and lawsuit. Let me know what you think of this lawsuit against Disney. If you think it is the first of many to come, like myself, if you think it'll be thrown out, or if you think there is merit. Be sure to like, share, sub. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.